Okay, we're going to be working on spinal health and spinal integrity. Eventually I'll remove my jacket just so you can see what that motion starts to look like. For myself, I'm going to be doing this 5 days a week for the month of November. So in order to create the changes that we're looking for, and you'll see in my spine that when it comes to rounding it, that my lower spine is going to struggle to do that, and certain portions of my upper back will struggle to do that. The middle of my back is going to be really good at rounding. Now when I go the opposite direction, when I make my spine smile, as a friend of mine would say, then you will notice that I put a lot of pressure, and most of the motion occurs low in my spine near my pelvis, and a lot right in towards the upper neck, and the rest of the region it struggles, in my opinion, to get down. There's other areas that do decent, but I would like it to be better. So I'm going to be very consistent for the month of November to try to create those changes so I can have a healthier spine, move those joints more routinely, and allow them to get nutrients, blood flow. The only way that you can get nutrients to your spine is by moving it. So we're going to move it methodically, we're going to move it safely, and we're going to teach you methods on how to make your spine better today than it was yesterday, and continuously try to improve upon that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to work on is just flowing through a cat-cow, just to see how things feel for the morning. Everything's going to move all at once. Pauses towards the end ranges of motion. And right here I'm actually just trying to take some note of if I am having any pinching sensations in my spine. So when I go and drop through, this is known as an extension. If I have any pinch, I don't want to feel those sensations. So let's say I had a pinch here. I'm going to start back from neutral. At the end range of motion, I feel a pinch. I'm going to slowly move through extension, through everything, and say, stop before the pinch. Another thing to note is, what are you doing with your shoulder blades? It's really common in a cat-cow to watch people go through cat-cows and pinch their shoulder blades together to try to create more extension. It's just cheating the motion and cheating yourself, because you're not going to get anywhere with that. Think about drawing your chest down towards the ground and your sternum's being pulled down, and if it can only go down that much, you only go down that much. If it goes just a centimeter, you go a centimeter. Just respect your spine. The spine, each segment doesn't move a whole lot. So when it feels like it's moving a serious amount, you're more than likely using your extremities. So going back to that concept of the pinching, when I go for the rounding into this position here, if I start to notice symptoms that are driving down through my legs, numbness, tingling, some wrapping sensations, again, you're going far too far, and we're not going to go into those feelings. We are going to pause short of them. So let's say that I feel it when it happens there. Instead, I'm going to round it and pause right about there, and then let my head and my neck go to make sure that I don't feel more of that. If my head and my neck create those symptoms, again, we're going to pause even more shallow. So if my cat-cow ends up looking like this for the day, that is what we do. Let your nervous system guide you a little bit, and we're going to override that. So I'm going to practice that for 2 to 3 minutes. Now that's been 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to start to segment the spine. Segmenting means moving one segment at a time, and it's a very challenging thing, and it takes time to learn. But the benefit is that you are now going to start moving one joint specifically at a time, one bone on top of the other, in order to create more motion, control, and get nutrients to those joints. They're pretty stagnant throughout the day. So we're gonna get them moving. So I'm gonna start at the pelvis and through my lower spine and work my way up towards my neck. So I'm gonna start tucking my pelvis up towards the ceiling and dropping through L5 towards the ground. I'm not gonna move my head or my chest. I'm moving very slow and methodically. And right now I feel like I need to ask L4 and L3 to start moving down. Breathing throughout this whole thing. Now L1, working my way up. And now I feel like I need to be towards my lower thoracic spine. So now I'm going to start demanding that that starts moving. As I'm working my way up towards the spine, trying to remember about my sturdy shoulder blades and not allowing myself to sink. Now my mid back. Getting up towards my neck. And now my head naturally just has to follow. Breathing. Pausing at the end ranges. And now I need to flip and reverse it. So I'm going to hold extension for as long as I can. And my head's going to go down towards the ground. Bring one segment up towards the spine at a time. Super slow and methodically. When I'm going through flexion, it should feel like my abs are flexing. I will allow my spine to bend in through flexion. Meeting end range. And resetting. So you have options. You can go the opposite direction. You can start at the head, work your way down towards the spine, or start at the spine, work your way up towards the neck. If I wanted, I could start at the lower spine, work my way up towards the neck, and then reverse that same thing. So let's say I'm in this position here. If I like to do this, and then allow this to round, and then work my way towards my neck after I had done a wave going up, it's totally fine. It's up to you. Whatever you feel most comfortable with. I personally like going pelvis to neck and then neck back down towards pelvis. Should take us about roughly 3 to 5 minutes of practice. Just continuous practice the whole time. And you'll start to notice that, okay, new sensations are occurring. That's good. We're slowly starting to push end range of motion each time. So remember, if it's a minimal amount of motion, that's fine. Don't force it. We are going to slowly expand the ranges, whether it's in this 3 to 5 minute window, or maybe you're going to do it again tomorrow or the next day and the following day, and you start to incrementally try to change those ranges as time goes on. You won't expand range of motion in 24 hours. It's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. So this is a full training block. Treat it as if that you are trying to train your pecs to get bigger. You need to take time, you need to stress it out, and it's a methodical stress. We're not trying to overdo it. So 3 to 5 minutes is the goal.